Hello students, you're welcome to today's lesson. Today we'll be looking at another interesting topic known as local geography. To some of us, we have actually heard about it. To some, it's actually our first time of hearing about local geography. At this lesson, we'll be able to discuss what's local geography, what it means, what it entails. Also at this lesson, we'll be looking at various objectives. One, you should be able to define local geography. By definition, we are actually referring to the meaning of local geography. Also, we'll be looking at a village. How do we define a village? How do we identify a village? Thereafter, we'll be discussing some of the characteristics of a village. What are those unique features? What are those attributes that you will see that will enable you to identify a place as a village? What are those things that are being done in a village that will enable you to identify them? Also, we'll be looking at the functions performed by those in the villages. What are the economic activities those in the villages engaged in? What are those things that they love doing? What kind of activities do they carry out? Also, we'll be looking at the town. How do we define a town? How do we identify a town? Also, think about the definition. What are those things that we need to see that will enable us to know that, yes, there is a town? Thereafter, we'll proceed to the characteristics. What are those features that we'll see that will enable us to identify it? Also, we'll be discussing the functions performed by those in the town. What are those unique functions? What are those things that they do that are quite different from those in the villages? Then we also have the interdependence on each other. We'll be looking at this interdependence of those in the villages on the town and those in the town on the villages. Why do we actually need each other? Those in the villages, do you think that they actually need those in the town, or do you think those in the town actually need those in the village? All these are what we'll be discussing. Now, the question is, what is local geography? Local geography can be defined as the study of our immediate environment. We can also say that it is the study of our locality involving physical and cultural features. By physical features, we mean vegetation, mountains, hills, valleys, and by cultural features, we're actually referring to schools, churches, markets, mosques, etc. From there, we'll be looking at the village proper. What's a village? How do we define a village? A village can be defined as a small nucleated rural settlement. It can either be dispersed or linear, and it is formed from the combination of several hamlets. What are those characteristics of a village? First, we have a village comprises of people with same cultural background. They are relatively small area with socially homogeneous people that knows themselves very well. A village also have few basic amenities. Thereafter, we'll proceed to the functions of a village. Some of the major functions performed by those in the villages are: 1. Agriculture. Agriculture is the major activities of those in the villages, and of course it involves the production of food for human consumption. Then we also have the lumbering function. Most villages with forests are engaged in lumbering activities, leading to the production of planks, timber, and plywood for construction purposes. Also, we have employment opportunities. Those in the villages, they usually provide employment to the youths in terms of agricultural extension workers. They provide employment for the youth not only to work on the farm, but also as the middleman between them and the government in time of business execution with the government. From there, we'll proceed to the town. How do we define a town? A town is a large nucleated urban settlement, and it is formed from the expansion or combination of several villages. Of course, it has several social amenities, and some of its characteristics include they are mainly involved in secondary activities such as manufacturing, construction. They also have many buildings with thousands of people living in them. Towns usually have nucleated or dense settlements. And of course, some of the major functions include commercial functions. Commercial function, this is as a result of the presence of large markets and banks, and it enables the people in the town to engage in trading activities. We also have the industrial function. Owing to the presence of industries, the town is usually involved in the manufacturing of finished goods. Also, due to the presence of industries, the people engage in the production of goods and services. Also, we have the residential function. Those in town perform residential function. This is due to the large influence of people into the town, and the need therefore arises to build residential houses to cope with the ever-increasing coming of the people into the town. This is a major function performed by those in the town. Also, we have the socio-cultural function. Towns are centers for establishments of higher institutions and other amenities such as universities, polytechnics, hotels, radio and television stations. Also, the town perform mining function. Places where minerals are present in some towns like Enugu, they are into mining. Looking at the interdependency on each other, the town, they depend on the village for food and raw materials, while those in the villages, they depend on the towns for administration and also for higher education. Now, those in the town, they depend on those in the villages for preservation of their culture, because it is those in the villages that promotes culture, and as such they are the ones that tends to preserve the culture of the land. And of course, those in the villages, they also depend on the town for manufacturing of farm products, while the town depends on the village for tuber and local herbs. Of course, the town, they are centers for innovations and ideas, and as such, those in the villages, they depend on the town for these ideas and innovations. And also, they depend on those in the town for improvement of agricultural extension workers. That is to say, the improvement of extension of agricultural practices. And of course, we also have the dependency on raw materials. Those in the town depend on raw materials from the villages. With this, we have come to the end of the lesson. Do well to ask your question, if any, and please don't forget to go through your quizzes and assignments. Thank you and bye for now.